We're joined in the studio now to get some more insight on this issue by Timea Kovacs, head of data science at Cynet Security. Thanks for being with us here. Seem day after day we get shocked and surprised. I mean, here we have the OpenAI CEO talking about, I think a quote from him saying this superhuman technology is, quote, the greatest threat to continued existence of humanity, close quote. I mean, it seems to be the cause for the greatest alarm that the creators of these programs themselves are saying the most dire warnings, are issuing those dire warnings. How concerned should we be?
I think it's people who are at the forefront of AI and AI research and actually putting production level models out to the public. They have a huge responsibility in how this AI will be used later on. I think this is what Sam Altman is at this point is trying to put out to the public.
Are the right people listening? And we see it has the ear of the U.S. Senate, government. Are the right minds already on this? Is it too late? In other words, is the cat out of the bag, so to say? Can this be regulated, or like they compare it to some angles of social media? Is it too late already to get a grip on these things?
I don't think it is too late to start to get a grip on this thing. We learned in AI techniques to explain the decisions of AI, how these decisions or content gets created by AI. I think we should go more into this direction to try to understand the inner workings of these models. How do they actually going to create that specific output that we are seeing at the moment?
Look, coupled with social media, where things can go, quote unquote, viral and get out there to the masses of people around the world before there's really any ability sometimes to have any verification, counterpoint. I mean, for example, these programs are capable of creating anything. I mean, for example, an instructional step-by-step bomb-making video, or false. I've seen examples of, completely falsified images of transgender protesters attacking school children, or Kenyan soldiers already, committing atrocities. It's already getting out there. What are the most dangerous aspects of this here? What are the biggest risks, out there?
I think this is a great technology, and it can save many lives, and it should be put into good causes. On the other hand, now it received an API that is made public to anyone, and I think that is now the biggest threat in it. That from Cynet security viewpoint, we do see that threat actors, for example, are starting to use this technology in order to create phishing emails, let's say, personalized to people. Or we see that certain malware or ransomware can be very, very fast created a new version and tested against the system. So the speed, how threat actors, for example, can start to build and develop new tools, it shortened to a very, very short time. And it was made public. I know we checked for 3.5 ChatGPT, and we actually could create a script with this with this software. We checked it for ChatGPT 4, and now the OpenAI already put some sort of countermeasures in it. I think regulation should do that.
Is the sign that, for example, the CEO of OpenAI is basically crying for help to the government here? Is it a sign that these companies themselves don't know how to regulate or can't control this on their own? Are they finding that in some ways is it getting away from them, out of their control?
I don't think researchers cannot help regulators to get to points where you can actually regulate it. The problem is that it is made public by companies who are starting to get in sort of an arm race with each other, as well as it becomes a national arm race between actors. And I think that's a thing where it can cause out of control. We can see that, for example, ChatGPT, OpenAI models were put up on the internet in the Bing search, which means that they are starting to gather new information already, which was one of the big no-nos against how you should actually use and utilize AI once you reach some sort of a general capability that can act just like how you described as well.
We hear about election meddling, economic impact? Are all these things going to start, the effects of AI in these realms, are we going to start to see them in the very near term? I mean, we're not talking about, oh, well, maybe in 10 years. We're saying this year, next year, big changes to take place around us already? Or?
I think, yes. This is as big as search, if not bigger, what actually is happening. I see it used every day. 100 million users signed up in the first 2 months just for the OpenAI's public, and not to talk about all the other generative models that were put out into the crowd. And I think what is most frightening is the development that can happen within a year. I think most of us in the industry know this picture, that how Midjourney changed within 1 year's time, making a picture out of a woman crumbled, and then a year later it's a full-fledged picture of a woman based on a prompt that someone put into as text to create me a picture. So I think the speed of development is something that we should be aware of.
We try. We're struggling. We're struggling to keep up with it. It feels like struggling to be aware of it as much as we can. Appreciate you coming to us. Timea Kovacs of Cynet Security. Keep up the good work you're doing, and we'll try our best to keep up with the latest around this.
My pleasure, David.